one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much or how you doing would admit to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa. Boss forever like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop a million songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
I kept saying, like, bro. I'm mad, bro. I ain't gonna be all right.
Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Saint. So, you know what? I be starting off rambling. Let me start off by saying I appreciate you for stopping by, checking out the show, the video, whichever you want to call it. I appreciate the support. You clicking on this little old show here has done me such a service. So I hope the shit that I be talking about in this show does you a service. I hope it put a smile on you. I hope it make you feel some type of way. I hope it teach you a little bit of something, depending on what I'm talking about. If this is the first time you've clicked on one of these shows, you might have clicked on it because Lamar was more than likely in the title. I don't know yet. I haven't came up with what the title will be for the show yet. Of this episode of the show will be today, or what topics. Well, I do know what I'm talking about in this show today, but so that would be a lie if I said that. But either way, whatever got you to stop by and click on the show, I appreciate you. I hope I talk about some shit in the show today that made stopping by worth your time. You know, because I get it. In a day and age where everybody like to waste everybody's time, and time is such a valuable thing that some people take for granted and some people don't truly understand, I do. Every day I've started to learn more and more of how important those 24 hours in a day are. I used to think I understood it before, but boy oh boy do I understand them now. Either way, I hope you're having a dope day, dope afternoon, dope night, whichever point in time you're listening to this show. And I appreciate you. Again, I appreciate you. We got a lot to talk about, but I watched the last episode of Hard Knocks. Now, I've been watching Hard Knocks while I've watched Ravens Wired. If you're a Ravens fan, you should know what Raven Wired is. Well, I'm not going to say you should, because I don't know the extent of how somebody, I don't want to, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. If you don't, if you're a Raven fan and you don't know, Ravens Wired is a thing they do on YouTube. The Ravens social media, the Ravens YouTube channel posted a video after every game. It's like Hard Knocks, but it's the Ravens been doing it for a little minute now. It's dope to watch it alongside Hard Knocks, because I just skip a whole lot of the parts in Hard Knocks that's got other teams. So the Browns, unless we play that team that week, I usually don't watch air. Like if Cincinnati play the Steelers that week, I'm skipping all of those parts. I do not care about what's happening in those locker rooms. This is why I say Hard Knocks was always a hard thing for me to watch, because I don't care about what go on behind the scenes and things of that nature. I've never been that type of person who cared about stuff like that. I don't know if it's I just respect people's privacy too much, or I just want to give people privacy that's not realistic. I don't know. Or maybe it's just I am too broke to care about things of that nature that I don't feel matter. But nonetheless, the Ravens Wired is great. And I watched the last episode of Hard Knocks. I haven't watched that last episode of Ravens Wired, if it was one. And I saw or heard something that absolutely broke my heart. And you may have just heard it. I'm mad, bro. I ain't gonna be alright. That shit broke me. It's my quarterback, man. It's my quarterback. Raw emotion. You know, I saw a couple things when I saw that last episode of Hard Knocks, and I realized Lamar Jackson is just somebody who I just really strive to be. Not him, the person. Like, I don't want to be Lamar Jackson. I can't be Lamar Jackson. I'm talking about the ideology, if that makes sense. I hope that's the right word. Or the young kids say the aura of Lamar Jackson. I think the leader, it's better if I just break the shit down. The leader that he is, I know how I felt in that Mark Andrews situation. And you know what's real funny? I done seen a lot of different talking heads talk about the situation. Unbelievably, Mad Dog Russo is one of the very few people, if the only, who has actually broken down the entire game why this was on Mark Andrews. He didn't just immediately say, no, you know, Lamar had 2 turnovers in the first half, so those had to play a part. He did not BS on it. He legitimately broke it down the exact way I did. He said Mark Andrews had that first drop that led to the fumble. Like, he didn't just leave that out, because if it were Joe Burrow, if it was Josh Allen, if it was any of those white knight quarterbacks, Dan Orlovsky and everybody else would have brought that up. They would have been like, well, this doesn't happen if the first catch, if Jamar Chase dropped this. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mark Andrews dropped a catch he should make 10 out of 10 times that led to the disaster the next play. And he would have had a first down if he catches that pass. He probably would have ran for a couple yards after if he caught that. Mad Dog brought that up. Then Mad Dog brought up the fact that they were in position to take the lead, and then Mark Andrews fumbles the ball. He didn't just make it seem like it was just a random fumble with no value. No, the Ravens were driving to take the lead, which is why I have such a problem with people who continue to try to say Lamar's turnovers were just as big as Mark Andrews. Regardless of how you feel about the points that may have been taken off the board, the points that they didn't get from Lamar's 2 turnovers, he still made up for him in the second half, which is not something I really should have to argue with you about, because if it were Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, anybody else, you would say this. Josh Allen had a player drop catches last year. People kept bringing that up. When Josh Allen's defense didn't come for him, didn't convert for him, people brought that up. Anytime, I don't know what's wrong with my voice. Anytime a quarterback or a player people like have other players let them down, they bring it up. But I was just a Mad Dog who talks about Lamar in such a way. For him to be the dude who brought up the reason why this is on Mark Andrews. He didn't just make it seem like, no, this is on Lamar. No. all mistakes are not the same mistakes. If you want to excuse his first drop that led to the fumble that I think led to 3 points, fine. But him fumbling that ball when they were in position to take the lead and then dropping the 2-point conversion, that's on Mark Andrews. So it's crazy to me that Mad Dog Russo is the one who brought that up. But nonetheless, the leader that Lamar Jackson is amazing to me. To have his teammates back. Like I said, I know how I feel about Mark Andrews. I know what I said about Mark Andrews. And I know what I'm going to say about Mark Andrews in that moment. And throughout the history of what I've watched from him being on the Ravens in big moments. But it take a certain type of leader. Like, bro, Lamar Jackson hear the critics. There's no way he don't. It's everywhere. Almost damn near every station got a group of Lamar Jackson haters who feel like we are not a Lamar Jackson apologist. Anybody who defends him is. Meanwhile, they defending why Joe Burrow's defense is why he didn't make the playoffs, even though he got 2 all-pro level receivers on his offense. I gotta listen to people that the Lamar Jackson hears the critics. He hear all the people who say he can't win in the playoff. He hear the dumbasses who say if he wins a 3rd MVP, it does more to hurt his legacy. How? I mean, the way that the media and the people who got it all wrong about Lamar Jackson won't let it go. Now, goalposts that we never had for other players at this point in their careers, we have for Lamar Jackson. And now we want to use the excuse, oh, well, it's because of his greatness that we hold him to this type of standard. They can tell you all they want to that they said the same about Peyton. They didn't. And they can't prove to you that they did because there was no social media at the time. Peyton did not get what Lamar is getting right now. Not to mention, it's very funny to me that the all-pro, the Hall of Fame receivers that Peyton played with, yeah, I would probably be irritated if Peyton didn't get it done also with those pro level receivers and Hall of Fame receivers after multiple years. But to try to put that on Lamar Jackson too is ridiculous. But regardless, I know he hears all the unnecessary chatter, the Mike Florials of the world who consistently talk crazy about him. It's a group of haters who they tried to act as if they were on Lamar Jackson's side, but all they needed was a reason to switch back and truly show you their colors. I know he hear all of that. So in that moment, to still be a leader and not let all of what he knew was going to come afterwards get to him and still show Mark Andrews respect and pick him up and not let him sink in that moment. See, that's the difference between, this is what I can say what I say. I'm not the leader that I strive to be one day, but I'm not a teammate. That's more important. We done seen so many different teammates have rough. We done seen it all year. Bad teammates and shit. For Mark, we saw Aaron Rodgers, perfect example. We done seen him throw his receivers under the bus. We done seen Ben Roethlisberger throw his receivers under the bus. In that moment for Lamar Jackson, not only did he not throw Mark Andrews under the bus, he put the blame on himself. He said it was my turnovers that cost us this game. It wasn't. But like I said, that's the type of leader you pray for. Mark Andrews didn't talk to the media after the game. He didn't talk to him to end the season on Monday. That's a terrible leader. But once again, Lamar Jackson showed up and took all those bullets. He took the criticism. This is why I say what I say on the show when I say other people need to start being held accountable in the media. Other people have jobs too. Other people get paid to do a job. The fact that we consistently dumb it down to it's on Lamar, it's on Josh Allen, it's on Pat Mahomes, this is ridiculous. The game is full of different complexities. It can't just be. Now, I understand the quarterback played the most. And I heard one of the reasons people like to say we all put them on quarterbacks because quarterbacks get all the reward. But you see what it's like having an ass quarterback. So I don't even understand why we still use that condescending ass statement. The quarterbacks, rightfully so, have earned the positions that they have earned. When other quarterbacks that you like have other parts that are failing them, we never say, well, that's making excuses. We always say that's legitimate points. But I digress. Lamar Jackson, in those moments, to still have his teammates back, to say, don't even worry, I'm going to take all of the blame, I'm going to put it on me. I already take it anyways, so shit, I'm going to take it again. But then to turn around, and then that's the crazy leadership, because unreal. And then the humility, the sportsmanship, to go up to Josh Allen with the biggest of smiles and greet him and congratulate him and wish him luck on the next one. Because he didn't have to do that. He could have just kept it at good game, shook his hand, and kept it moving. Hugged him like he do every time they play. Shook his hand, gave him, stopped for a minute to encourage him, to give him, you know what I'm saying? Now, I couldn't help, and I don't usually do stuff like this, but in this moment I did. I immediately thought to the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen moment in the regular season, where Pat felt like the refs had screwed him. And instead of congratulating Josh Allen, throwing that aside for a moment, and because Josh Allen didn't play no part in that's not him calling the play, that's the refs. Instead of showing Josh love and congratulating him, yada, 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 he voiced his displeasure with Josh about the issues that had taken place. And I know Josh in that moment was just like, okay. That's not what Lamar did. It's a certain type of sportsmanship. And I know first thing people is, it's a lose-lose for Lamar, because the first thing people are going to say is, well, Pat Mahomes got 3 Super Bowls, so he can do that. But I didn't know having hardware was having hardware allowed one to dictate how having Super Bowl rings was the standard we had set to allow or to dictate how someone can and cannot act, as far as like when it comes to sportsmanship and being rude and things of that nature. I did not know that, but that's silly me, because we let celebrities that we like and rich people we like and even broke people who give us advantages and things we like do ridiculous shit all the time. So that's on me. Forgive me. That's on me. But in that moment, this type of loss, the things that happened in that game, to still greet Josh Allen in the way that he did. Now, I'm not really shocked by it. Well, I am a little bit, in a sense of, once again, the sportsmanship and the leadership that Lamar Jackson possesses is just is heights that I just hope to one day achieve. Okay, because it's unreal to me. I don't know if you could have handled these moments any better if you are Lamar Jackson. The maturity to handle your emotions in the way of which he handled them. To be able to say, I have to console Mark Andrews because I'm the leader of this team. Then I have to greet and be kind and uplifting to Josh Allen because of, not because I'm his friend or something like that, but because of sportsmanship. And I don't hate this man. He didn't just, yes, he stopped me from reaching my goal, but it wasn't personal. So I'm still wish him well because I'm a good sport. But then to go to the media and talk to the media and take all the questions and the criticism that could have came his way. And then to sit in his locker and have that moment to himself, where he finally let that emotion out and say, I ain't gonna be alright. Unreal. Unreal. I tell you what, I ride with number 8. I ride with number 8 till the wheels fall off. That's my guy. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. What the media says does not matter. It does not matter. I wish, and I'm not telling you that I'm perfect. I'm not. But I really wish more sports shows talked about sports in the way of which I talked about them. You can add an entertainment elements in there. Y'all got the money too. I have no problem with that. But I really wish we talked about these athletes in the way of which they should be talked about. Because you got a man that's about to have his third MVP and people telling him that that's doing damage to his career. This man done improved. You can visibly see the improvements in Lamar Jackson's game every single year of his career. Every year, people done said, oh, this might be the best year of his career. Oh, this might be the best Lamar done seen. Oh, this is the best Lamar we done seen. Oh, this is the best Lamar we done. And the fact that he cannot play free. And you want to know what's crazy? Oftentimes, the most criticized, like Lamar Jackson, is the one who set it up for people in the future to be able to have the leeway. So a Jaden Daniels can play free. A Caleb Williams can go out there and play free. A CJ Stroud can go out there and play free because of Lamar Jackson. He the one who's gonna take the criticism. If CJ Stroud though throw 3-4 interceptions in this game, in this next game against the Eagles, do you think they're gonna say? I mean, not CJ Stroud. If Jaden Daniels throw 4 interceptions in the next game, key interceptions that cost them this game, do you believe that they are going to talk about Jaden the way they talked about Lamar when he was a rookie who didn't even start his full rookie year? He was thrown in because Flacco got hurt, meaning none of this shit was set up for Lamar. Now, that's the truth, but people who don't like Lamar will tell you that's an excuse. This shit done been built for Jaden Daniels the whole way through. Jaden Daniels got to face a Baker midfield and a Jared Goff. Lamar Jackson faced Phillip Rivers in his first playoff game after having to face him the last game of the season. The road ain't never been easier for Lamar Jackson. We give leeway to young quarterbacks who lose in the first round. I saw somebody the other day say that we forgive Josh Allen for his first couple playoff games. We don't even bring him up because he was a rookie. Lamar Jackson didn't even get the benefit of a full start his rookie year. Like the full start that he didn't get to start all those games his rookie year. Like I said, he was thrown in. The team wasn't built around him. They didn't have weapons for him already. They didn't have an offensive scheme ready for him already. But we hold him accountable for that first playoff loss. We hold Lamar accountable. I keep saying this we thing. They hold Lamar accountable for things that they would never hold other quarterbacks accountable for. Joe Burrow done missed a good part of his last couple years due to injury. When you look at the amount of time Joe Burrow done missed through the injury, it's way more than what Lamar done missed. But they'll call Lamar injury prone when he was hurt. They don't call it. I saw Chase Daniels tell you the other day that Joe Burrow, what can he do about being hurt? The seasons that the Bengals lost due to his injuries weren't on him, but they were on Lamar Jackson when he was hurt. But my goal this year is to stop watching these sports shows talk about these athletes. Because it's too much ego involved. It's too much biasness. It's too much. I don't even understand it, man. Well, yeah, I do. But the fact that they don't, the media, because it's impossible for Lamar Jackson not to hear all this stuff. The fact that he is not able to go into any of these playoff games or to these and play just free from the criticism. Because he know every little mistake that he make is going to be magnified times 1,000. Now, you already know that as a quarterback. But I have faith in Lamar. He going to get through this. I can't imagine what it would be like. Yeah, I can. The day that he win that thing, he gonna win one. All the pieces are gonna come together for Lamar. I saw somebody the other day say, I think it was Mad Dog Russo, say he believed Lamar Jackson. See, this is the thing. Mad Dog won't admit it, but Lamar Jackson, he is convinced, Mad Dog, that he can win in the playoffs. It's no way you look at how Lamar played, because people keep trying to say the turnovers. Lamar Jackson still had a 114 QBR in that game. He had 2 bad drives, one of which was not even on him, that fumble. Like, people keep trying to make it seem like that fumble was just him being careless with the football. It was a bad snap, which, again, I just want to continue to say, none of this matters if Mark Andrews just catches the fucking football. That is probably my biggest problem when it comes. See, I let shit linger when I start to get irritated with something. And I have to learn to let shit go. Because the more and more I watch this playoff game in my head, it bothers me more than the Billy Cundiff. Because Flacco's legacy didn't matter to me. That was just about the Ravens winning the Super Bowl, and he blew it. Him and Lee Evans. This shit matters more to me. I don't even care too much. The Ravens winning the Super Bowl is solely an extension of Lamar Jackson winning one. I care more about Lamar Jackson winning the Super Bowl than the Ravens. And I am a Raven fan. I have been my entire life. I got the Ravens logo tattooed on me. But I have been praying to get that number 8 with a crown on the top of it, with a Super Bowl lettering on it, for when 8 win a Super Bowl. That's how much I rock with number 8. When this dude, he gonna win it. Mad Dog have to be convinced after seeing how Lamar, and people, you wanna know what's crazy to me? CJ Stroud done won games in the playoffs. And man, I saw somebody, I done seen multiple people say these on sports shows. The people Lamar Jackson beat in the playoffs are nobodies. Bro, the Titans went and beat Tom Brady. CJ Stroud is not a bad, like, what are we talking about all of a sudden? So beating CJ Stroud does not matter. Okay. So, and I guess to an extent, I do understand that beating Josh Allen and Mahomes is the real thing. Like, I get that because that's who is in the playoffs right now. But this notion that any quarterback that's not named Mahomes who he beat, we just gonna demean, is insanity to me. Like, so when he beat Stroud, that don't matter because unless Stroud is playing Lamar. When he not playing Lamar, we think he a great quarterback. When he playing Lamar, he just some bum. They love praising Baker Mayfield, but when he play Lamar, that's just a average quarterback, even though that was the first pick in that draft that Lamar was in. But when he play everybody else, we respect Baker, okay? When he played Joe Burrow, all of a sudden it's everybody else. It's Zach Taylor, it's everybody else. Joe Burrow has never at one point in time, at any point, has Joe Burrow walked into a game against Lamar Jackson with less talent on the offensive side of the ball than Lamar Jackson. At no point has he ever walked into a game against Lamar Jackson with less talent at his disposal on the offensive side of the ball. Yet, look at his record against Lamar. But when Lamar beat him, it don't matter. But when Burrow beat everybody else, fair game. So these standards and these ridiculous rules that people have set on Lamar Jackson. And I told you, I understand why Nick. Well, I don't understand it. It's just a hating ass motherfucker. But Nick Wright don't like him because Lamar tweeted back at him one time. It's the same reason he go at Kevin Durant all the time. Emmanuel Acho is just a raccoon. That's why he don't. The way that motherfucker be beefing, guzzling Baker's beef in his mouth is crazy. And I'm not gonna go down the list. I was watching one dude today talk about Lamar Jackson, and I got so annoyed because he kept saying the same thing like over and over and over again. And I don't know what possessed me to watch Mad Dog talk about him. But then when Mad Dog actually was giving him credit and basically being honest with what he saw, I was like, it's interesting. I even saw somebody the other day say, I refuse to put this on Lamar because we give quarterbacks credit all the time for having legendary performances and coming back in games and having a bad first half and then coming back in the second half. He said, but when every single time you've seen those quarterbacks come back in the second half, it was other players on the team that made plays for them. And I couldn't agree more. Every time you see Pat Mahomes come back in a Super Bowl to make big plays, it's not just Pat Mahomes who turned it on and played great in the second half. Pat Mahomes get help from Travis Kelce. He got help from Tyreek Hill. It was guys making big plays for him, showing up in the moment with him. That's why I always say, you can't go to the dance alone. Somebody got to go with you. Other dudes get paid to do a job too. I mean, shit. When one day when we big and we got merch, you know that's gonna be on a t-shirt. Like, it's no way that you look at that game and you excuse Mark Andrews. It's insanity to me. And this, you want to know what's really annoying to me? I'm on seeing all these people throw this pity party for Mark Andrews. This nigga get paid a job, and he is one of the best tight ends in the game. For us to not have to hold him to the same. Could you imagine if Travis Kelce had to drop these catches? What they would have said about him? Oh my God. And Travis Kelce done amassed far more leeway than Mark Andrews. I would have heard people say, I'm pretty sure it would have been people out there who would have said, oh, I feel bad for Travis Kelce. And it would have been Chiefs fans who said specifically, we forgive him because of what he's done in the past. But make no mistake about it, people would have held Travis Kelce accountable. Travis Kelce would have held himself accountable. That's what's so great about Travis Kelce. This is why I get annoyed when niggas is comparing him to Mark Andrews or Andrews to him. Because I've said it a million times. He is not Travis Kelce. The biggest difference in him, because I see people say this all the time, well, he catch just as good as Travis Kelce. He run just as good as routes. The difference between Kelce, it's a lot of differences between and I even see people say he blocked better than Kelce. There's some huge key differences in Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. That's why I get very annoyed when people compare him. You see, Travis Kelce show up in the biggest games. You can't go to a single huge game that the Chiefs done played throughout this Mahomes era where Travis Kelce didn't show up and make a big play. I ain't talking about just having a big game. Show me the big game, the big situation where Travis Kelce didn't come through. And I'll match you and show you all the big game situations where Mark Andrews didn't come through. Travis Kelce would have shown up and talked to the media after they lost the game and the next Monday. Because he got a championship mentality. He don't want it. He understands you can't always win it. But developing great habits will put you in a great spot to sway those odds. But for some reason, people okay with Mark Andrews not talking to the media after the game or after the season. That's interesting. Everybody on Twitter, oh, I feel bad for Mark Andrews. I feel for Mark Andrews. Listen, Mark Andrews, the man, is not who anybody is talking about who is trying to hold him accountable. But I find it very odd that we are okay with holding Lamar Jackson accountable. I ain't even seen everybody under the sun give him credit and still give him backhanded compliments and try to hold him accountable. I mean, Lamar had a great second half, but he still had those first half turnovers, which I have never seen anybody hold first half turnovers to this type of, like, I've never seen first half turnovers play this much of a role of importance to people when somebody had a great second half before. Like, I've never seen it. Like, Jared Goff threw all those turnovers against he threw the 5 interception game. You would have never known it because they won the game and nobody talked about the 5 turnovers. Nobody said, oh, those first half turnovers. Like, Jared Goff's turnovers got talked about in the playoffs this year because he still was doing that shit in the second half of the game. If Jared Goff hadn't turned the ball over in the second half of the game and played perfect football, now you might still talk about it because he just gave away straight, like Jared Goff, what he have, like 3 turn. Mind you, the fact that people are comparing Lamar's turnover games, once again, he fumbled a bad snap in the snow trying to re-grip the football. I cannot understand how you can say you can congratulate Lamar when he made crazy plays from broken plays, but then you criticize him when that happens. See, that's the part where you cannot have it both ways. It's different if this, like, we all have players where we say this is an exception to the rule. You cannot now hold him accountable to said rule when he's been an exception the entire time. You have to take that in the good and the bad. It's why I don't hold Josh Allen accountable for turnovers. I don't hold Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow. I don't hold, well, not Joe Burrow, because I don't put him on the same level as those 3. But I have been very consistent in how I have talked about Lamar, Mahomes, and Allen. They are not their turnovers are not created equal. That's not me talking about the turnovers they had in the game. That's just me in generally speaking about how I have always held them to a different standard because they have shown they are the equalizer. I believe that they are double-digit wins for their teams. Whether you think it's 10, 11, 12, 13, I don't care. They provide to me 12 wins to their teams. If you take them off their teams, you can take 12 wins off of that roster also, off of that team's win column, and turn them to L's. That's how important I believe that those players are. The reason I think Joe Burrow is great. I do not think he puts 12 extra wins. I don't think that his total win value, wins above replacement, is 12. I think Joe Burrow is somewhere around the 8 to 9 range on his best year, which is hard to say because I was about to say on his best year, to me, he's about a 10-win player, but his best year statistically was this year, and they did not win 10 games. So that's tough. His highest wins above replacement, if you really average it out, is around 7.88, to be honest with you. But I don't think he give you the wins that those other three quarterbacks give you. I also don't think he provide the wins to you that Jaden Daniels give you. I think Jaden Daniels got a 10-plus win right now, wins above replacement. I think CJ Stroud give you a higher wins above replacement right now. Because when you look at the lack of offensive talent specifically, see, I'm thinking about the talent that directly impacts the quarterback. Yes, the defense impacts the quarterback because they have to stop the opposing team's offense. But I'm talking about what talent directly impacts your quarterback statistics and how he plays. The talent around him. Either he gonna overcome talent, make that talent better, or he gonna play great with great talent. Joe Burrow's talent. It's hard for me to see a team that's got better offensive skill players that bring a higher wins above replacement on their team than Joe Burrow, than maybe the Eagles and what's that other fucking team? The 49ers when they healthy. The 49ers when they healthy, the Eagles when they healthy, and the it's that other team too. Jesus Christ. The Texans when they was healthy this year. But that's not really fair because that was just on paper. We thought that was going to be, crazy. But I'm just going off of like Nico, Tank, Stroud, Mixon, Diggs. That's like a great offensive skill group. Now, it might not be rated higher than the Eagles. What's really hurting the Bengals this year is depending on how much you like Chase Brown. I know a lot of people who love Chase Brown. I know some people who don't think Chase Brown is that great. I know people who just think he a good running back. I'm somewhere in the middle right now. But Chase Brown, yeah, he don't provide that much. But the Jamar Chase T. Higgins part and Mike Gesicki, which I don't know how I missed that they had got Mike Gesicki in the offseason. Like that. I imagine they bring I don't imagine that they bring Mike Gesicki back because Mike Gesicki gonna make a lot of money in the offseason. It's a team out there that probably need a tight end. It's probably gonna be able to pay him more than what the Bengals are gonna want to pay him because the Bengals still have to pay one of these receivers, either Jamar, which is just hilarious to me that they let the price tag run up like that. See, what you was gonna have to pay him was not what you now have to pay him. Okay. See, what you would have had to pay him before, you might have thought was outrageous. But what you definitely got to pay him now, you think is out of this world. Because he just won the Triple Crown. So you can't point to a single category that matters. Of those three stats that I imagine matter the most, which is why we use those as the ones that crown you Triple Crown, and say that any receiver was better than him. That's tough. Catches, catching yards, catching touchdowns. There was nobody better. That's tough when you got to go to the negotiating table and bid against the nigga that just got those stats. See, at this point, now I'm about to say something. It's not going to make sense because we know how great Jamar Chase is. But I'm just telling you what I'm finna say is just based off of the stupidity shown to us about the Cincinnati Browns organization. essentially they might as well go ahead and trade Jamar Chase and re-sign T. Higgins, because T. Higgins is going to be cheaper than Jamar Chase. Even though T. Higgins on the open market would get a max contract, you could probably negotiate to get him signed for something less than what you would have to sign Jamar Chase for, because I imagine Jamar Chase is not taking a pay cut after what he just did. It would be no shot. I can't imagine Jamar Chase is going to play this year after the season he just had if you don't pay him. You have more luck at this point if you are trying to be cheap like the Bengals. You have more luck in trading Jamar and paying T. Higgins. I have now not ruled it out of the question that they lose them both. Because why in God's name would you allow both of these motherfuckers to go into their final years of contracts? You know how good both of them are. So if you wanted to keep either of the two, you would have already signed them. Allowing it to play. Now, I don't know what you expected out of Jamar Chase this year. I don't know if you thought he was going to be worse this year, or if you thought T. Higgins was going to take away his targets. But after you franchise tag T. Higgins, you should have known he was not playing a full season. Any type of nagging injury, he was taking his leave of absence. He was sitting. So I don't know why you thought Jamar Chase wasn't going to go crazy this year. Cincinnati are an interesting organization. If they think that Joe Burrow is the type of quarterback and player that can sway the winds drastically enough to where they can get rid of both of these receivers, God bless them. God bless them. Joe Burrow moving around here and there every 5 games, making these crazy little plays. That ain't just because Joe Burrow can move around. That's also because you still got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. I'm very interested to see what you believe with it. I would like to be in these meetings with Cincinnati when they talk about the plans for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, because I know you're not going to keep one of them. We know that now. And I don't think you can franchise tag T. Higgins again. Now, maybe you franchise tag Mike Gesicki, which at this point, this is just showing you this is the ultimate cheap team. They're willing to not pay these niggas, knowing they're not going to pay them, and just keep them for as long as they possibly can. Now, we just going to throw the franchise tag on you instead of working out a long-term contract or just trading them, because they could have traded T. Higgins. They will now lose them for nothing. This is an unreal franchise. This is not a serious franchise. It's not a serious franchise. And that in itself sucks for Joe Burrow. Because I do think Joe Burrow is a good quarterback, but I don't think Joe Burrow is Allen, Lamar, Mahomes. I got to see about Jaden. I'm going to wait, because Burrow still, now I know I done been one of them dudes who done said in the past, like, Joe Burrow, yes, he done beat Mahomes and Allen, but every time he done beat them, I know I bring up the fact that he come to the dance with better weapons every single time. Like, he has never came into the dance with a lesser than offensive squad than Allen and Mahomes. Now, for Mahomes, y'all just hold that one win he had in the playoffs over Mahomes. Y'all really just drag that, because it's not like he just some beast against Mahomes, bro. It ain't even like he didn't, like, I really hate that. Mahomes, bro, when Cincinnati had a great defense, that's when they was marching up there facing Mahomes. Mahomes had a great defense in Travis Kelce. Tyreek Hill was no longer there. They got to catch that motherfucker when he had none of that offensive weaponry that he had before. And Burrow came up there with Higgins, Chase, Boyd, Mixon, and whatever the fuck tight end they wanted to throw into the puzzle. So it's completely different in my opinion. But I'm not going to take away credit from him from beating. Now, the Josh Allen one, it's just very hard for me to give him too much credit for beating Josh Allen. It's not because I don't give credit to quarterbacks for wins. Because, to me, winning is a quarterback stat. And then there are rare cases, not even really rare cases, but there are the cases in which it's not the quarterback, it's the system and the team and the coaching. If you're not stupid, you should understand when those situations occur. But for the greats, the quarterback is a winning stat. Jamar Chase and all them boys coming to the dance with you when all I got is Stephon Diggs is crazy. I mean, Now, the counter argument people gonna say is, well, Lamar Jackson beat Joe Burrow almost every time he play him, and he come to the dance with the same stuff. I get that. And I really don't know how to really justify that, to completely be honest with you. Because a lot of these times, I am shocked when Lamar beat these motherfuckers in which he do. Like, some of his best... Did you see his stats against the Bengals this year? Shit was crazy. People kept bringing up Joe Burrow's stats. Look at Lamar's stats against the Bengals. I can't really explain it. I think maybe that's just one of those things where they play against each other twice a year. So, I don't know. But let it be known, if Burrow had Lamar, Mahomes, and Allen on his hit list, I would make the same excuse for all three of them. Bro, this is not average talent that Joe Burrow has at his disposal. That's my problem when people try to make it seem. For one, people always bitch about the talent Jalen Hurts got at his disposal. Yet you never hear about that when it comes to Joe Burrow, which is odd to me. If CJ Stroud had all his talent healthy this year, you would have heard people bitch about, well, CJ Stroud do got Diggs and Tank Dell and Nico Collins and Joe Mixon. But let the white boy get... Anyways, I'm rooting for the Buffalo Bills in the next round. Yes. I have to see Lamar and Mahomes. I mean, not Mahomes. I need to see Lamar and Allen get them rings, bro. And I am confident in myself and in my fandom to where I don't need to root against Josh Allen just to say to myself, well, I don't want him to win before Lamar Jackson. I used to be like that. I even questioned myself, do I really want Josh Allen to win? Because if he lose, then, the same conversation persists. But no. I need Lamar and Josh Allen to start racking them hoes up. It wasn't Lamar's year. Get him next year. I'm going to keep rooting for Josh and Lamar, man. It's not going to stop. I can't muster up the hate or the fake hate to not like or root for Josh Allen. I've been rooting for him since he came into the league. Him and Lamar tied at the hip for me. They were in the same draft. They the two legends out of these drafts. Now, technically, Josh Allen's resume is not one of an MVP yet. I mean, of a Hall of Famer yet. But make no mistake about it. I believe that he and Lamar Jackson are going to be first. Well, Lamar Jackson is already going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But in my opinion, even though he don't got the hardware to show it, just off of what I'm watching, Lamar, Mahomes, and Lamar, Mahomes is unquestionably a first ballot Hall of Famer. To me, Lamar and Josh Allen are first ballot Hall of Famers. You can't watch those two quarterbacks and not think to yourself, man, them niggas give your team 12 wins. Like, to me, is no shot. And I hate that niggas keep putting Joe Burrow in that category with them niggas, because he done missed the playoffs like 3 fucking years. Josh Allen and Lamar have never missed the playoffs as starters. As a matter of fact, the year that Lamar got hurt one year, both years he got hurt, they still should have made the playoffs that one year that they missed it, because he got them so many wins that one year that they had to make the playoffs. Like, they basically had secured their spot before he had got hurt. But then the other year he left them niggas with like 9 or 8 wins, and they didn't win another fucking game. Disgusting shit. But to me, comparing Joe Burrow to niggas who ain't never missed the playoffs in their career, basically, nah, that's crazy work to me. Just because he went to and lost a fucking Super Bowl, bro. Nah. But maybe this a me thing. Maybe I just don't respect. Maybe I don't give enough credence or respect to getting to the Super Bowl, which I don't think is true. I respect you for getting to the Super Bowl. That's a team award. I'm not finna hold he got to the Super. You think that Jim Kelly care about him getting to the Super Bowl 4 times? He lost all 4 of them hoes. He ain't walking around celebrating getting to the Super Bowl, my guy. Y'all just gotta chill out sometimes. That's really the truth of the matter. I just don't see Joe Burrow in the same light as I see Mahomes, Lamar, and Allen. I don't care that he's gotten to a Super Bowl. I don't. If he had won that hoe, completely different conversation. I can't even argue it if he had won it. Really, I could have, but I wouldn't have. I'm going to say something else that's disgusting. The fact that Joe Burrow was one of the finalists for MVP, disgusting work, bro. Absolutely disgusting work. Nonetheless, Allen, I'm fully on board. I'm rooting for the Bills. I have officially become a Bills fan for the rest of the playoffs. My Rams done been knocked out of this hoe because they act like they don't know how to play in snow. I'm fully on the Josh Allen. Well, I'm always rooting for Josh Allen, but I'm a Bills fan for the remainder of the playoffs. Unless they get knocked out next week, then I'm definitely going to root for Pat Mahomes. But because I would love to see that three-peat. But I am fully rooting for Josh Allen to get to his first Super Bowl and win that hoe. He and Lamar Jackson. It's like, I think, you know what it is with Lamar, Burrow, and Allen, not Burrow, with Lamar, Mahomes, and Allen. See, I got to watch Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and all them boys. I got to watch all that generation of quarterbacks. My first, look into the young, because Andrew Luck might have fit that mold, but him and Cam came in when Brady and Manning was still playing. So, damn it, Cam played one of them in the Super Bowl. So, Russ, Cam, and them, they not like the young generation. I got to see their whole careers play out, too. Lamar, Mahomes, and Allen, they were the first three young quarterbacks that I watched, and I was like, oh, them three niggas gonna be great. Them three motherfuckers is gonna be I think I don't know if we was desperate for great quarterbacking again, but it kind of felt like we was getting to a point where it was about to be a scarcity of great quarterbacks. And then boom, Mahomes, in his first full season, I think Mahomes won MVP. He popped, which was his second year, but his first full year. Lamar Jackson, second full season, win unanimous MVP. He popped. Josh Allen in his second full season, when they get him nope, it don't matter. He popped. To me, them three motherfuckers. And now, what I really love about Josh Allen, because actually I know why I was about to say Stephon Diggs. Because now look at him without Stephon Diggs. Do he put up the gaudy, crazy numbers? No. But that's because he done learned how he need to play games without having that type of talent at his disposal. You can play an unsafe game at times when you got a Stephon Diggs, because you know he can cover up a lot of your flaws. You know you and him can cover up a lot of your flaws, but now you don't have him. So much like Mahomes changed the way they played once they lost Tyreek Hill, Josh Allen had to do the exact same thing. The way Lamar had to play in the beginning of his career when he didn't have that type of talent at his disposal, based off of how he can now throw the ball around the yard now. It's just, when you see these three great quarterbacks and how they maneuver based off of what they have at their disposal, what they need to do to be great. And I used to say I don't know if Josh Allen made the talent around him better, but I for sure know now that he does make the talent. Because I couldn't argue that for him at first, but now I can. Because I think these dudes around him are better because of Josh Allen. That's the maturity of Josh Allen. Josh Allen a couple years ago with Stephon Diggs would not have made this talent better. That's one of the problems I had with Josh. He wasn't making Gabe and them other dudes better because of the reckless style of football he played. But now losing Stephon Diggs done forced him to mature into a part of his career now where he can make players better because he played different. He don't play a reckless brand of football now. So he can carry guys along with him and get them to where they need to be and play the way they need to play for him to get out of them what he need to get out. I just think Lamar, Mahomes, and Allen are unbelievable quarterbacks. I really pray that Josh and Lamar win those Super Bowls so that we can talk about this being a golden age of this era of Lamar, Mahomes, because that's another thing that annoys me. This is why I haven't dumbed down the careers of Lamar and Josh Allen to, they haven't won a Super Bowl yet. Bro, when they get into year 12, 13, 14, okay, now I'm thinking to myself, okay, bro, y'all got to get this Super Bowl. Y'all getting old. When they turn 32, 33, yeah, now I'm thinking to myself, okay, we got to get that thing. But to just ignore all the greatness they done put on display is crazy to me. If you ignore all the greatness because they haven't won a Super Bowl, then basically we don't care about anything that has happened in this era, except, of course, Joe Burrow, because people seem to love everything he do, even though he ain't got a ring either. And you can basically say that year that they went to the Super Bowl was an anomaly if you base it off of everything they've done since. But I'm rooting for the Bills. I hope that offense, I think the Chiefs defense can be had. I watched the Tampa Bay Bucks without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin march down the field on them when they needed a drive. And I watched the Panthers do it also. So they can definitely be had by Josh Allen. And I'm just hoping, Josh Allen, and this is what's weird, because Josh Allen done played great games against the Bills in the past where he didn't turn it over. He done played games where he turned it over and still played great against them. I think now, though, because of how much more mature he is, the old Josh Allen wasn't looking at the clock thinking to himself, I need to take all the time off the clock and yada, yada, yada. Or maybe he was, but now the way Josh Allen look at the game, the way he play it, like some people say he play a safe game. I just think he play a more mature game. He understand what he have to do to get through each team that he play. And that's what I love about quarterbacks, specifically Lamar, Mahomes, and Allen. Because they don't come into every game saying to themselves, every single game got to be played the same way. Yes, they say we got to do our jobs and we'll win. But what you did last game is not how you beat this team. You done heard all three of these quarterbacks allude to that. Like, you can't play every single one of these games the same way because they not the same opponents. And even when they are the same opponents, they might not be the same opponent they might not play the exact same way that they played when you played them the first time or the second time or the third time. So seeing Josh Allen, Lamar, and Burrow, I keep saying this motherfucker Burrow, seeing Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar mature and evolve their games, that's how I know they're going to all win the Super Bowl. Obviously, Mahomes already done knocked his out, and hopefully he get this three-peat to go ahead and get them 4 things out the way. But because I'm telling you right now, Mahomes, actually, I take that back. I said I hope he get it. No. I don't hope he get that. If they beat Josh Allen, then I hope they get it. But I am fully, my bad, Bills Mafia, I am fully on board with Josh Allen and Bills Mafia. Now, I would never do the nonsense that they be doing before the games where they throwing each other through tables and shit like that. That is ridiculous. I'll pass on that. And squeezing ketchup and mustard on each other, that is disgusting and also ridiculous. So I would pass on that also. But aside from that, I am fully on board with Josh Allen. Fully on board with my guy. I like the hair. I love the hair. I haven't spoken on Josh Allen's hair this year. I like the long hair look. I saw my man's is engaged, getting married and whatnot. Good for my guy Josh. Fully on board. Fully on board, Bills Mafia. I am not being well, you don't got to worry about me being condescending. If you watch the show, even if you don't, I am a huge Josh Allen fan. So you ain't got to worry about me being condescending. I need Josh Allen to get him one. The way I needed Lamar, obviously I need Lamar to get a little bit more because I was a Raven fan, but Lamar is not in the dance anymore. So let's go get that shit, Josh. All right? With that being said, I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in this world, so choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. I fuck with you. I love you. Saint out.
I kept saying, like, bro. I'm mad, bro. I ain't gonna be all right.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.